Good. We're good. Looks like we're good. Howdy, folks. I'm Cody with IronVerse Comics, and yeah, we're doing a Q&A and what I've been reading stream. So that should be hopefully some fun. Hopefully, I don't know. Second stream with this visual component here. We'll see how that goes. Uh, I hope the waiting screen is at least a little bit more entertaining. And yeah, we're just pushing forward with a little bit more content, and I wanted to put something down. So there we go. All right, so. A couple updates first. Let's do that. First off, let's go over here and then let's go. I believe it's here, and then throw this on. Oof. Kickstarter is now at 150 followers. Thank you all so very much. What I'm considering doing now, and I'm pretty sure I'm not. I can't promise. I'm gonna have to get a quote on it to make sure. But I think what I want to do is add a metal bookmark to each copy of the trade paperback. With a unique design from the art team, and maybe even double-sided, so maybe two unique designs from the art team. Um, and just something kind of cool to go with your copy of Jack Iron Steel Cowboy in hardcover. Um, I'm excited to see how this goes. I didn't think we'd get 50 signups, let alone 150, particularly with how this last campaign has gone. So I'm excited to see what this does. We blow this out of the park. As with any of our crowdfunding campaigns, the possibility for growth of IronVerse Comics is just we've got all the tools we need. We just don't have the energy, and you folks are providing the energy. Um, Thank you. All right, all right. Yeah, howdy Laguna Munta. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing this now. I had to take that plunge. I'm trying to do everything I configure to put my all into this while I can, you know? Ah, my old crew mug from the Punisher and some relatively old coffee. That's how you start your day around here. Alrighty. So, with that said, thank you so much. I'll be talking more about that bookmark idea because I want to do as little complications as possible with this so we can just go to print and get you your books within a month or two. Um, we might even have the cover ready by the time we get to launch. That's my hope. I can tease a little bit. Maxi Dallo, what he's coming up with is he wants it to be kind of what I kind of wanted the cover to be, which is kind of an overall summation of Jack and his lives. So I'm excited to see what he kind of comes up with that. Um, our original idea was a wraparound. I'm unsure if that's still what we are going to want to do, but I'll let folks know as we push forward on that. I'm really excited, very nervous, and I'm hoping I hoping I have the wherewithal and the energy to push it as far as it needs to go and as far as it can go. All right, so that's that. Second update here, number two, is more Jack books are arriving to backers. I'm really excited with that. So let's check this out. Boom to this guy. Love seeing these out in the wild. I'm stoked they look that good. Laguna Munta in chat, in fact, has seen them in person, and he's actually seen the difference. We had misprints that printed much darker, and I was really worried that who knows how the books that went to Wicked Publishing look. The ones I got the second time were spectacular, but I wasn't sure that the 1500 they got weren't going to be different, right? So yeah, that was a problem. But I could tell just from the light color up at the top of this issue, because that's where a lot of the darkness was coming in. They're the right issues, and that does my heart so much good. And then again, getting these issues to folks, very excited. I'm hoping people enjoy them, and that's kind of what it's all about here for us. Getting the work done, getting artists paid, and then sharing all of that magic with you folks. So yeah, thank you so much on that. I think that does it for that. Let me go ahead and turn off display capture real quick, folks. Go on and back up to here. All right, now there's that. So yeah, it's a new setup. We're gonna try this for a little while. Um, yeah. So it is a Q&A, so in chat at any point, just feel free to throw any kind of questions and ask me anything as usual, whether it's about the books, about incidents that have occurred, about stumbles, about things I've learned going in, things I want to learn, anything. Just give me a question if you'd like. Otherwise, what we will do is hop into these fellas right here. That's what we'll end up doing. So I guess that's what I'm gonna push towards right now. Looks like my stream quality may be fading in and out, but it's holding mostly green. So also let me know how that's going, folks, if you would. That would be doing me a great kindness. So I didn't stack these in any particular order, so I'm just gonna grab what I finished the most recently. We'll talk about them in order of me finishing them, I guess. And I haven't finished all of these. There's these two guys on the bottom here. I just want to talk about them for a lot of reasons. So we'll start here. Let me see. I think I can get this a little bit better on camera. Let me see. Let me get closer. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. So, big fan of Battle Angel Alita. The movie really hooked me right away, just on the ideas, and I wanted to see what the manga would be because I knew it would have better pacing and better artistry. Because it's really hard to mimic a mangaka's work or a comic book creator's work on screen. It just doesn't happen. You get close. Like Sin City gets close. A lot of films have gotten close, but it's just not the same. And how the information, the story, the tale is delivered to you is always going to be different, just because there's more cooks in the kitchen. One thing I like about a lot of mangaka is a lot of the time the most they have in terms of interference is assistants or just doing backgrounds or whatever. So yeah. I read the original arcs. I don't know how many arcs there are. It's 5 volumes. Can you see it up there on my shelf? Yeah, my finger is right below it. That's it right there. That's the collection of Alita. It has one of the bravest endings I've read. It's something you never see a creator and an author do. And so I had some trepidation in continuing it to the sequel series here. And man, though I think I want to reread the original run, just to make sure that note's hitting as strong as I remember it hitting. This doesn't, I'm always worried when they go past what they intended to, and the original run has a very definitive ending. That there's going to be trouble, and this is just more of what I wanted. I wanted more of the story, and I got it. And let me see if I can find. Now, it's not as good as the original run, and I haven't finished this. Of course, I finished this volume, but there's a few. I've got 2 more of the omnibuses coming in, and then there's 2 more omnibuses after that. So there's 5 omnibuses, and then there's 4 additional volumes that didn't make it into the omnibuses that actually finish it. So I don't know how it's going to end, but I've heard from people who have read it that it's still really good, but it just doesn't hit the highs and lows of the original. But oh, I guess it's the best focus we're gonna get. If I put more towards the light, doesn't make a difference. Okay. I can't really show too much of the art very easily to you folks, which is a little annoying because that is, God, one of the strongest parts of Yukito Kishiro's work is his art. He's very expressive. His action is extraordinary. His comedy can be really good too. Definitely, if you like manga, check this out. It's as cynical as the original, and it's about transhumanism. It's about people trying to escape mortality through machine integration in a lot of cases. And one of the biggest twists of the original run is, touched on in the original run, but then he's just like, okay, I'm done. And then he ends it very strongly, like I said in the original. It's like, okay, maybe I wasn't done. I do have more to say on that topic. And that's what he does in here. If you want hope, he uses hope as a very sharp weapon. He doesn't really use it as like a guiding light. So it's a hard one. It can be a very hard read, especially with how much personality and love and care you can develop for Alita. But yeah, definitely check it out. Um, Worth your time. Certainly, I love manga pacing. I mean, I finished this in 2 days. Just sitting down and tearing through it, taking a break every volume or so, checking stuff, and then going right back to it. And that was more than enough for correct pacing for me and to enjoy that read. I will say I think I enjoy manga better just because of the pacing and the ability to consume it so quickly, and that it doesn't tend to overwhelm you with information. Some older mangaka will next to over here next to Alita we have Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. One of my favorite works of all time, both the film and that. The film condenses the message and allows it to touch more on a youthful end, while the manga really just hits all the notes he wants to hit. Um, and it hits them very hard. But it can sometimes not be very condensed. It can be a little more wordy, and like comics, like Western comics, and at least that's handled right. A lot of modern Western comics, you can tell that the author either has too much to say or is not confident enough in what they're saying to not reiterate it 50 times in 24 pages. So yeah, manga, well written and well drawn manga. I appreciate when it's so focused like that. All right, finish this. You want a Western comic that's fun, right? Right. So I'm a fan of heavy metal, both the music and the publisher. And this is probably my favorite work I've read in heavy metal, um, called Gypsy. I did an IronVerse Comics an IronVerse quickies on the first arc that's contained in this collected Gypsy volume. Um, so if you want something more in depth on that first impression, go check that out. It's on our YouTube page. Um, Also, what can I show you here? The art, the pacing, the humor, the sexy. There's a lot of good stuff in this. A lot of it's a brother-sister dynamic, which you don't really expect from the cover. And no, that's not his sister. Uh, um, the writing, so you could tell it's if you've read Sergio Aragonés's work, specifically Gru, like I have read a lot of Gru. I'm still reading more Gru. I love Gru. Gru the Wanderer. You can tell when it's being translated from a native language, or even just it's not English isn't the writer's primary language. You can tell, and sometimes that can be a hindrance. But sometimes it's just this whole new layer of unique expression. And with Gru and with this, with Gypsy, it adds so much. The humor, the colloquialisms, the pacing, how it shifts from idea to idea, and the word choice is just it kept me interested, and it doesn't mess with the pacing. It doesn't mess with the pacing at all, and sometimes that kind of stuff can. The action scenes in this are extraordinary. Um, it's just a dystopian truck driver trying to deliver a weapons shipment to some town in the middle of nowhere that is about to get raided. I'm not going to tell much more because there's a lot of twists, a little bit more intrigue in there. I'm just going to say the Gypsy, our main character here, that looks quite a bit like a Romanov Rambo. Uh, oh man, this is so cool. He's such a cool character. He's like a Snake Plissken. He's like he's got this affable, I know I'm so good, and he is kind of attitude, which can be hard to pull off if you don't know what you're doing. The coloring, which will not come through on this on my shitty lighting here, but get an idea. Maybe it'll come through a little bit. I'm gonna get closer. Yeah, the coloring is extraordinary. The line art is busy, but not to the point of confusion, which I've seen a lot of other folks who use really busy line art do. It makes it kind of harder to read the action. No, no. He's busy because he wants you to really feel the grime and grit and be involved in this world. And there's just So many good phrases and sayings in this that I love. I posted this a long time ago. I started this a while back and I hadn't gotten to finish it for a while. And then I got some time and I needed to escape into some comics and I was able to finish quite a few reads. Um, but I doubt I'll be able to read it on camera. But maybe I can read it off the camera. But basically, he knows who he is. He knows what he wants in this world. And he wants to make sure that others treat him with the respect of that. Know who he is because he does. Um, $3, I think I got this read from Heavy Metal. This whole omnibus, which I think is like 16 issues. Um, you'll see a lot of sales through Heavy Metal, and that worries me because I love their work. I love the risks they take that very few other publishers this day and age will. And they're not taking the same risks in their modern works, from what I can tell, which also worries me a little bit. But their back catalog is incredible, and I really hope they dive more and more into it. It's worth looking to see if this printing is still in there. The colors pop. I mean, $33, and this was a $15 fucking pickup. Otherwise, back in the day, um, this is a fun fucking read, and there's a lot you can learn from Gypsy for sequential artistry and for just having a fun action story with betrayal and with, again, sexy because it's heavy metal. It's got to have a little bit of that. Um, yeah, check it out, folks, if you have any interest. And again, uh, comments are open on chat. Please ask anything during this. Otherwise, we're just gonna tear through these. Um, so I read that. Finish this. Been wanting to get through this for a long time. This is one of my favorite characters of all time. Let's talk about Nausicaa, talking about Alita. Samurai Jack, for me, is a core foundation of a lot of what I do. And I wanted to see what other tales were told in the sequential medium here instead of just the video one. And all of these take place before the final season. Um, they were instead of the final season, basically. They didn't think that was ever going to happen. And there's a lot of good ideas in it. The art is all over the place. A lot of it's pretty rough. Let me show you. And it kind of fits. It kind of fits. But this pillow's gonna be the death of me, right? It fits. It actually, it's never unclear what's happening. Well, okay. Uh, Let me rephrase that. It can be. There's a specific one where it was trying to be unclear, or if it wasn't, it was just brave paneling. Let's see if I can find that. There's a few different artists. There's a few different writers, but the main one, the main writer on is Jim Zub. People who read the D&D comics and quite a few other things may know him. He's done a lot of work with IDW, I believe, which is who I think originally published these. Yeah. Um, if I can find it, there's a double-page spread that is just illegible. In terms of what it's supposed to look like, it looks cool, but it really is. I don't think I'll be able to find it in this omnibus. I wish I would have marked it. Um, I wish I could find the one thing I do want to show besides that. Can I show one of Gendy's covers? Holy shit! Yeah, there's one of them. So I'm so glad Gendy did some of the the original creator Samurai Jack did some of the. Oh man, that's the best, and I'm blocking the light and you can't see it. That's annoying. Um, he did some of these covers, and when he works on a painting style cover, um, oh man, so cool. I wish he would have been able to do more of the interior. But there's some tales in here that were kind of the idea was touched on in season 5, but they made it edgier and bloody and all that, which is fine. Here we go. Here we go. This spread, for instance. The build up to this. Inside is the weapon that cannot be broken. Um, that whole tale, the thing that involves that bit, that's Samurai Jack to me. It's the core, the idea of it, and that is very important to me. And it's found its way into Cowboy Jack and into Jack Iron Steel Cowboy. That sense of identity and strength in identity, without it being selfish. Um, oh, definitely worth a read. Some of the tales in here, a lot of these are self-contained, and they're gonna go up and down. Also, the pacing of a comic sometimes is not served Jack. Um, they did do a couple. A couple of the tales in here are without words, which is very cool. Samurai Jack was all about minimalism, telling a tale through visuals. Um, and then he took that step further with Primal. Folks want to check that out. Nothing in but action, really. Um, and communicating the idea of storytelling without words, which means it could be anyone with sight can share in it, and there's something magical about that. But yeah, this is kind of hard to get a hold of. I don't think they printed too many. It's not like a lot of Marvel Punisher stuff lately, which they are just not printing any more of. I guess they are trying to disavow a lot of that work. Like Punisher Soviet is only a couple months old. Well, it's probably about a year old now. And God, it's going for 70, $80 for the bit because they want to disavow Frank a little bit. But so misprinting, not misprinting, low print runs are always a problem. This took me a while to find one that was not crazy price wise, and collecting the individual issues might have been cheaper, but I'm a trade guy when I can, so I can just binge it all in one place. Like Gru the Wanderer, it's very hard to find the trades for him, so I had to get the single issues, and that was cheap, which was great. But yeah, I do recommend Samurai Jack Tales of the Wandering Warrior. There's a lot of good stuff in there. The art styles, again, kind of up and down. The tales up and down, but it ends strong. It ends really strong. As an alternative to season 5 that we didn't know was going to happen, they did their job. They did their job. Now, I got two more to talk about here, folks. And then if there's no questions, I might just call the stream. It's a simple, quickie kind of stream. We'll start here, and I think we'll end on this big guy here, because this one I have less to talk about. But what I have to talk about is maybe might add some questions. I've been reading this for a long time. Scud the Disposable Assassin. I'm maybe a quarter of the way through. It looks like, and it's taken me so long to get through it. I'm going to show you why. And I don't dislike it because of this at all. In fact, why I keep pushing on is because of it. But it's a hard read. I'll show you why. It's mainly because, so it starts off fine. It starts off fine, gives you an idea, and it's very straightforward with its pacing, what it's trying to do. Oh, okay. Let me get this up. Oh, fun. Um, so I like that it's hand lettered. That's always fun in comics. It makes it instantly more unique. It gives it a signature that you're going to be communicating directly with throughout the entire reads, right? The art style is kind of loose and it points out. It's pointy. It's quintessential indie to me. It's the kind of work. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see on camera. Apologies, folks. Trying to get it level too. Um, but let me show you what I mean now. So it's hard to read. Um, you get the idea of the story, no question. You get we were talking about busy, right? We were talking about busy with Gypsy, a busy art style in terms of detail. This is a busy art style in terms of paneling. And what it does is it makes the pages instantly engaging and vibrant and very hard to read. So here's another set of those. If it wasn't one creator who knew what he's doing, there's a lot of tricks he pulls off in this paneling that just can't be done. I couldn't see a writer communicating it to an artist and then having the artist put it out. I just can't see that. It's something that can only come from a writer artist. Again, like the mangaka who find the pacing to a little bit. This is the opposite. This is indulgence. But the indulgence is so cool. Let me. I just showed you this page, but I want to show you a little bit more. There's a whole scene with this cyborg that's got screaming knees. Not a whole scene. There's a few issues. He seems like he's going to be a consistent bad guy. The overall plot of Scud is that he's the disposable assassin. There's a company called oh, CompServe Kill or something like that. CompServe. No, the first part is comp and the last part is kill. Um, it could be CompuKill, but I don't think it is. Uh, he just puts some money in a thing, and then the assassin comes out. You pay him, and that's how it goes. Uh, and what he ends up doing, because as soon as they finish their target, they're supposed to self-destruct. Scud, he gets wounded on that first mission and gets a sense of self-preservation, and gets a little annoyed that he can be killed and hurt. So instead of killing his targets, what he does is he aims them to the point that they can't function, and then gets them in the hospital so that they're on life support. And then he's got to figure out how to pay for that life support, and that continuously happens. And that's just what the adventures are. Him trying to pay for the life support of the guys that he's not killing, but is completing the contracts on, getting the picture, so that he doesn't self-destruct. It's a great idea. Here's another where I don't know how a writer could have communicated it, but the artist could have it directly in mind, like that. Um, yeah, it's the writing can be really grimy, gritty. Page right before, lots of paneling tricks, a lot of repeating paneling to communicate things. I don't know if that was the beginning of copy things. I mean, he'll have 15, 20, 30 panels on a page. I think between 20 and 30 is the max I've seen page just to communicate one idea. And oh man, again, it's hard to read. Clarity is not there, but it's you're diving into a world of madness. It feels like it, and it can still communicate the story to you. There's a lot to learn there, and it's fun. The comedy is there, the violence is ridiculous. Um, there's some really cool stuff. Here's a cyborg T-Rex. Get a sense that anything can happen. Oh, cat, what are you doing? Yeah, she tries to steal my chair, and that's yeah, it's again busy, 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 but not in the writing. Writing's never busy. It's very concise with the writing, and it's usually humorous. Writing's almost always a joke, but it carries the message. I'm looking forward to. I think I'm on 7, but there's 27 or so issues. 24 issues before it finishes. I'm curious how it evolves. Since I'm 7 issues in, I think he hit the pacing he's gonna want to hit. It's not like overall emotional arcs either. There are multiple issues covering one hit, but and one idea. Like the one I'm reading right now, lost an arm in the previous hit, so he's got a loner arm now. It's just some old soldier's loner arm. First issue had him kind of dealing with that and finding out that it's kind of got a mind of its own hit, and it's not quite against him. It just differently. So I'm excited to see what the next issue how it handles it. Um, yeah, so now he's got an arm. Um, yeah, I do recommend. This is another one that's kind of hard to get a hold of, but it's also not in high demand. It's definitely a very indie book. So I'm thinking you guys could find a copy somewhere, or at least pick up maybe a couple of the single. Again, relatively self-contained, not always self. But man, I think if I was an artist, I'd be super inspired with this guy. I'll show you again. It's artistry, and then the personalized lettering tells everything about it. So yeah, check out check out Scud. Really, it's not talked about enough in terms of indie, and it's got 24 issues, published by Image. In this case, I think it was published by somebody else first. Could be wrong. Um, it's so fun, and again, black and white doesn't tend to bother me. I think in this case, if you colored this book, not only would I feel so bad for the colorist, just so much you have to factor in with. But I think it might, instead of, I've seen some busy artists where color is the only thing that can clear their line art, make it clear and communicative. This is the opposite. The opposite. I think color would make it unclear. I think it would confuse it and make it just a complete sensory overload. Whereas the paneling does all of that drawing in, in terms of the art, and in the writing, it's batshit crazy, but has an idea and it does follow you through the story. But I mean, they talk. It's something worth experiencing, like reverent adult kind of animation, kind of humor. Dan Harmon ended up helping with the editing. Also features additional writing from Dan Harmon. So yeah, if you know his kind of humor, a little bit of that's in here. But man, I have a lot to go with on this, and I don't think I'm disappointed. It's just taking me time because it is not something I can page like a manga. Page, look at the layout, look at the pen, look at the line art, look at how he sketchy things for action, how he does sharp angles, the paneling. This is a paneling masterclass for computer. There is a lot of use. In fact, our issue 5 of Jack, I'm gonna see what I can do. Again, it would be really difficult for me as a writer to create 11, 14 panels for a artist and then have them, let alone me just visualizing them. I try to err between 7 panels, but you can do 14 panels, 20 panels if you know what you're doing, um, and you have a purpose. A lot of writing, you're supposed to know the rules that you know where to break them. You want to be breaking rules without. That's this one does it with the art, with the storytelling, which is, call it writing, but it's storytelling. Something very cool. Yeah, check out Scud if you can. I definitely recommend it. An issue in the dollar bin. It's worth it just looking for the panel artistry. I really like the style. It's very edgy, etchy. Action is great. And the paneling. Howdy, Brian. I think I am still live. Are you hearing me? Question and answer thing. I was talking about a manga, then heavy metal, IDW, Image. Then we're gonna hit another manga. This one. So I was talking about. That's why I want to do Scud first. Scud, it's hard to get through because of the overwhelming nature of artistry. All right, good. I'm glad you're here. This is hard to get through because it's propaganda. Nothing less. Nothing less. It is Japanese propaganda. Um, I can guarantee there's stuff to learn here. It is unbelievably patting itself on the back. Mr. could do no wrong so far. And it's a manga, so the pacing's fine and all that, but they are so proud that it gets hard. Like rarely. So I stopped right here. That's funny, Brian. You came in here. I'm using waifu sticker as the bookmark. Um, I rarely want to stop a read uh, mid issue, right? Mid chapter. Manga's case. Very rare I do that. I want to finish the message. They wanted to give me a break, right? I wanted to want the artist writer to have given me the. And manga's great at that. It's a freeze after boom, 5 minutes sometimes, and then breath. This is no breath. It's very dry. It's call it propaganda. Um, but there's a lot to learn here. Um, my buddy, Dollar Coins, co-editor in IronVerse Comics, got me this. And to be fair, he didn't get me. He shared with me and gave me those. He read them first. I'm not sure how he got through. They gave me this. Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez. This I could tear through. I don't tend to read prose, but this story is super, super inspirational. For any kind of indie, I recommend them checking it out. Breaking into buddy, finding your footing and now Mr. Rodriguez tale, and we were talking about Alita. Um, it's certainly not over. He's definitely become more of a fat cat than started, but still, this is a great way to know what people have had to do. That these kind of things can happen. Got to keep at it. I do recommend reading for that. Tezuka, I haven't eaten enough of this very dry book to comment on it, but I've watched plenty of documentaries on him. I've watched. They have a very different work ethic. They have a very different perception. I want to learn part of that because manga is not only taking over the industry art, but it so much power it will suck the life out of its creators. There are very few creators who can actually continuously their actual story. So Tezuka, he was Walt Disney. So I'm excited to read this to see what that really. But it's so dry and so proud and so much a performance. It's not frank. Whereas again, the Robert Rodriguez book was a lot of it's his notes, his field notes, so directly from the guy. It was very very straightforward and very little propaganda. He talks about when he fucks up. He talks about where he doesn't. It's so proud. It's so proud. It's hard to read. Um, that's why it's hard to read. It's not even pacing from classic manga pacing. It's great, gorgeous book, very well drawn. But whew, a couple thousand pages of what's gonna him, struggling, but then he gloriously rises up and pushes forward. Be a lot of that. Um, so it's a lot of half truths, kind of how it goes. But oh boy, is it dry. Yeah, it's the thing I've been reading for a while now, and I got very. Scud is exceedingly fun, hard to read because of paneling, but this is hard to read because of the content. Just to be frank, so I'm gonna be pushing through that for. If I can read prose before I read through some sequential art, then yeah, something's amiss. That's for sure. All right, let me see. Oh, got comments. Got folks showing up. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, yeah, you didn't miss a stream. Thank you for stopping in. Howdy. Um, folk on Periscope. Apparently Periscope was supposed to die at the end of March. It didn't, so I'm really happy. Um, thank you for joining me there on Periscope. It's one of the better ways I can reach people with a following I already had quite a bit of. So I'm glad they kind of backed off on that. They never made an announcement that they weren't. That's fine as long as they didn't cancel it and destroy it. So I'm happy about that. Yes, yes. I am a member of our local chapter of the National Waifu Association. Definitely check it out. If you want a sticker or a mug, which I also have, check out ragzombie.com, I believe, or New Age Ninja Corps. I just looked that up, and I'm pretty sure it'll show up, or Patreon will show up. Check them out. Um, Burned through Extravag Anza Queen in the Iron Mask. I'm not aware of that work. But and you need to finish Last Order. Yeah, I'm getting through that slowly, slowly. Apparently, it's really good. And then the next arc, apparently, the next set of arcs. Remember what it's called? It's the slow degrade. So I might just finish with the Last Order. Again, the first run of Alita, it just ends so damn bravely. I haven't seen a creator do that and like that. How he ended it, which was I think it was the coolest table flip, fuck this, I'm done, I've ever seen in the sequential, especially from a mangaka. and that they let him do it, at least for a little while. Like Akira Toriyama, who can't see I have all the Dragon Ball volumes behind that. He wanted to do that so many times. He always left room not to. They kept dragging him back in. Yeah, dragging the Dragon Ball back in. Um, and could tell his work, it didn't suffer completely, but that he kept pulling things out of his ass. He was good at that, which I appreciate. But yeah, it was very cool to see that at the lead up. But then they brought him back, and so I had a lot of trepidation with Last Order. So far, so good. At least at first omnibus. Got two more coming in. Apparently, the arcs that are coming are really. After I finish Last Order, I might be done with that franchise. Good. Check it out. Definitely check out the first five or however many volumes. I think it's like 5 volumes. Uh, Before you go any other way. That's what like reading. For me, I'm a much bigger fan of the Dragon Ball arc before it goes to the arc than stuff that followed where it's shown in action. I like his gag manga. It's that kind of feeling where he had to adapt and evolve and grow, but just a little something was lost. That kind of happens in. Let's keep going. Welcome, Elton. Thank you so much for stopping by. Howdy, Dollar Coin. Just stopped by too. And then yes, Midnight's stopping by as well. Yeah, I was talking. This is talking about things I'm reading and have read recently, Dollar Coin. So I was talking about the Tezuka story. I haven't gotten that far into it. All right, all right. Oh, yep, there. Because it's so dry and it's most certainly propaganda. It's so tough. Uh, I segued into basically what are tough reads. This is because it's dry. You told me that as well when you got it to me. It's dry. But it's expressive in the art and it's a well designed. I mean, it is cut and paste. Like this is a good manga, but oh, it's so proud of itself. It's hard to get through. I'm sure that's very similar with a lot of like books talking about Disney. I'm sure very similar. I was talking about Scud here, which is a whole different reason why it's hard to read because it's so damn expressive in the paneling that it takes you longer to understand a page. And it's not just the paneling and lettering and story. Everything's so it batshit crazy, but it has purpose and a reason and go through it. But it takes time. Time. But yeah, just went through some of the books. I finished Alita earlier. That was it. Yeah, it's a chore to read, but has some good info. That's what I'm expecting with. That's what I'm expecting with it. So yeah, that's the main bits of what I wanted to show you folks. That's what I'm reading. I got through another chapter of Scud yesterday. I will admit that drinking really helped me get through part of Scud there. I had a couple beers and it allowed me to kind of relax and take in the paneling, take in the story, more than actively trying to decipher something. Again, it's overwhelming. Uh, Expression per page. That can be too much. Yeah, a few folks. Again, I'm gonna out of all of these, the least known. That includes Scud, which Scud isn't that well known. Oh, Gypsy. Check out Gypsy. Again, you can probably get it really fucking cheap from the metal website. Coloring, the artistry, the story, the phrasing, the writing. Oh man, it's such a fun fucking story. And there's some stupid, really quick story beats like I want to throw a pair of tits in this. Boom, tits, and then it's done. It's one panel. There's some things like that where it's like, okay, why not? Okay, sure. Yeah, there's more of that that I'd like, but well, not nothing I'd like, but it's just it could throw things off. But the characterization, the Gypsy is great. In fact, my original IronVerse Quickies video on the first arc of the Gypsy, which Wandering Star. Um, I got the artist. He commented on that was really artist creator. And down that conversation he talks about he has more Gypsy in mind, and I really hope he does do more. this is my kind of fucking comic. Hard for me to find stuff that's got this edge, got a good story, it's got heart, it's got realism, got this dystopia bit to it. Just artistry, artistry. That's really hard to see. Go ahead, back to this. My ugly. Well, who wants to look at that all day? Uh, let me see. Let me show you. I actually marked the Jack because of color choice. Specifically, yeah. Oh man, we're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how he builds up in the coloring on. Right? This is beautiful, beautiful color buildup. Now I know my coloring in this terrible camera, but it's so good. I think it'll. This is a purple, yellow, orange kind of buildup. He goes from the cool colors in the snow building with the sunset, right? And then they're captured, but it keeps building. It keeps fucking building. Fire, flames, color, right? Building up the tension, and then it goes into a fight. Doing it. It's just bright, gorgeous, gritty, angry, but fun, playful fucking style. And it just keeps growing, growing, and explosion. And just, I mean, he's, I don't know if you folks could see, but he captured one of them as a dwarf and is using that little person as a flail. There's some fun shit. And then it calms down after the fight. It's beautiful. Like, it's another level of storytelling that colorists, good colorists get. Our colorist, Steve Cannon, he's great at it. Gorgeous. Um, doesn't, because of how my writing is, writing's very ADD. It jumps from point to point very quickly. It didn't allow as much of that color buildup that I just showed Gypsy does. Again, I am so very impressed by artist writers. In this medium, it allows so many tricks that you can't do otherwise, or that it would be very hard for a writer to communicate. Um, it always brings us. It always does. But yeah, that's what I've been reading. That's what I've been getting through. I mean, I guess one other thing I've been reading. One sec. And because we were talking about how a language barrier, if it's used properly, can add a fuck ton of personality. Yeah, I guess I'll just choose that last issue I read. Just ever find any of these issues that don't say part one of whatever or part two or whatever, just pick up a Gru. Just pick up a Gru. You're gonna have a good time. I have not found a single fucking issue of this that I didn't laugh and have fun with. This is a funny book. This is a comedy book. Um, it's so fun. It's got heart and it always has a purpose, a reason story by the end of it. As long as it's not part of a sequence, you're going to get a self-contained, funny, heartfelt story every time. Every time. Um, and again, the language barrier, it adds so much personality. Everything's like understandable, 100% understandable. Much like talking about earlier. Gypsy, sorry, I haven't had enough coffee. Much like Gypsy, it's got phrasing oddities, saying that don't directly you don't hear often because it's a different version of English. It's in here. It's somebody's version of English in here. Um, man, I don't know. Really allows this expression. Like if you had to read that in prose, you might have a harder time. But when it's coupled with art, coupled with a personal expression that's more easily consumed, have to be kind of translated a lot and then interpreted, interpreted, interpreted. Um, I don't know. There's magic to it. Wonderful magic. Gypsy does it in a gritty adult way. Gru does it in buddy kind of way. Or I need to Aragona, but I'm excited that he put out so much. I still have more. Definitely check that out. Been reading a lot of these. Definitely worth your time. That's the floppies I've been reading. I've read a couple others, uh, but they're up on IronVerse Quickies. Um, Read this on IronVerse Quickies most recent. Hopefully, I'll get another IronVerse Quickies out this week. I would like to get a couple more. I wanted to do one every day. That's just not been feasible. I read this again, fiction event. It was pretty good. Concept is what's really cool. I would check out the quickie. It has all the notes. It's Brett Booth, which people might know recently as X-Men Legends, I believe, title he's doing for Marvel. He's done so much other stuff. It's worth seeing some earlier work like this because you could see like the kid doing work, and then now you can see modern work, how it got refined and such. So that was a worthy journey, and I kind of discussed that a little bit. Check that out if you would. Share all. Definitely going to open this up to questions as there's been. If you folks have anything else, but I think that's it in terms of what I've read recently. Yeah, I mean I've read my work quite a few times. I haven't touched them for the last, but I'm pushing forward with that. People are getting their packages, all that good stuff. Got a bit. Okay, let me check out comments here. Indeed. Got a bit chunky this pandemic, so you won't be seeing anytime soon live. I've always been a bit chunky, but I've been losing weight. Um, for one, the last few years when my ex dumped me, I started losing weight quite a bit. Depression and a lot of that, but also better. My dad passed in February. I've been realizing how important my life and how much my life I've been placed in a caretaking position. What that requires, respect it deserves. That first and foremost, able to do that, I have to take care of myself. So I've been getting stronger. I've been getting healthier. It's been awesome to see. I'm lucky with a job where I can walk fucking 5 to 10, so sometimes 10 miles a day, just walking dogs, right, and up with their physical presence, standing all, walking around gravel, playing or wrestling with these critters. Um, that's done me a lot of good. I'm at the lowest. I haven't. It's been like 50. God, it's been like 17 to 20 well, 17 about since I've been at even the fat the muscle. Now I've hit the plateau where which is nice, but I'm also not that dedicated to it. I could be better, but yeah, it's nice to feel the healthiness when you want to go run with the dog because it doesn't want a lot of pups when you're walking them. They'll go real slow or whatever. Won't be too engaged. They'll want to stop a lot. If you can hit a jog, it'd be nice. And there was a very long period of my life jogging very far just kicked my start feeling that holy shit, I can do this more now. Very very good for this. Trying to get healthier. I still love my food. Fucking love best pleasures I have in life. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one to get over. That's the biggest hump I have to get over. I've hit a good exercise plateau. I have to better. That's been. But yeah, the pandemic didn't really change in terms of my activity, except for the couple months I was off work, back to work. I was in the Alita Omnibus. Good. That part, absolutely. Not as good as the original arc and original arcs that finish with a definitive end. But I was really worried that it would that how they'd go about continuing my taste. But he's hitting the ideas he needs to hit, and that would making it this run at least. So I'm excited to finish it. As I said earlier, the set of arcs after this, which I don't remember what they're called, the after last order. I don't. which isn't the last order. uh, they apparently it gets a little muddy. I also spoke about how kind of Dragon Ball Toriyama was less defined in what he in with, so it allowed him to adapt. I don't know if Alita allowed him to adapt past the set of ideas. And I don't want to spoil. Like I could talk directly about what ideas he's in, but it spoils so many big points at first. But he's exploring the right ideas. Still got that nice mix of transhumanist that I like to see people aware of, push it often. I love it. You know, people need cybernetics here function more. If we can provide them with an arm, that's wonderful. But then you get into the gray area chips, control of the body by outside force. There's a lot of that Alita's explored in the original arc. Leans into heavier Last Order. So I'm excited to see what he comes up with. He's a very cynical writer. He doesn't really have much faith. He keeps a spark. He keeps a spark, and that's what makes Alita wonderful. But it's not the carrot on a stick that I see a lot of people use. Like it exists, but it's just a factor, part of reality, not something to allow you to rise above. Yeah, worth reading. Definitely worth reading. Anything radar these days. Work. Uh, no. I have to say, just because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I've heard of things. I heard King in Black was a good blockbuster kind of popcorn kind of comic, and that's good to see. Glad those are still being released. A lot of indie stuff that I'm always curious about, but I don't tend to keep up with modern stuff going with back issue. Like right now, my focus, I got the next two Alita Omnibus. That's the next stuff I'm going to read. I might do some rereading. There's I need to. Still haven't finished East to West because that is an overload of cynical and politics. Oh, and I get enough politics. That's my only problem with East to West. It's gorgeous artistry. The ideas are building. Of course, it's the kind of universe I really appreciate. The art style and the interpretation. Very cool, but like it's very heavy and dark. Very little joy. Very little joy in it. I have a hard time with joyless works that are just there to express a hardship. Jack's there to express a lot of hardships. My work, but I want you to have joy in that. Appreciate life, action, deserving of respect and love. East West. So far, it has a few notes of love in it, but 90, 95% just joyless, grinding mechanist nature of reality. That's hard. I like we're all fed into the machine, get oiled. I would rather appreciate the oil. We have no way out of being fed into the machine, so you might as well appreciate the beautiful part of it, part that's not the machine. West is very much explored. Um, and it's not even that new. And there's a lot of stuff from heavy metal that I really appreciate. I got like $20 worth of stuff, and that Gypsy again was like $3. I got the original Rogue Trooper thing, which was called War Machine before War Machine. It's really gorgeous. Like I'll show you that too. Most people, so like I see people talking about Rogue Trooper here and there. I particularly like the creator. Yeah, no, somebody who's worked with it for a long time though. Beautiful hardcover. Beautiful fucking hardcover. The artistry in this, it's watercolors, I believe. Um, man, just how it expresses things. There's a particular double page spread I want to show you guys. But it's again, it's a busier work. I'm not always a fan of the busiest work. But we were talking about grinding the machine on here. That's War Machine here, Rogue Trooper. That's all it's about, being the fucking oil and finding purpose in that and trying to escape it and find it yourself. That's another thing that's really important. But you get this sense of camaraderie in battle, and you get these bright, gorgeous pastel paint stuff. Um, yeah, check out their fucking back catalog. They're always selling it for really cheap, because heavy metal is not that popular, which really blows my mind. It's because of the topics and stuff that they're it. There's a lot of things like I've touched on reading, but not too recent. Happy to do another one of these down the line. I guess I'll hit this because I'm not going to do a quickies on mainstream stuff. I will rarely do a quickie on, just because it's very rare. I will, but I don't read much Spider-Man. I like J.M. DeMatteis quite a lot. Mike Zack I know from quite a bit, but if you haven't read it, I definitely recommend it. I'm more of a Daredevil guy. Uh, Daredevil and Spider-Man. I'm more of a Daredevil guy. I like his, or like, I'm just basically Batman, except with extrasensory, and I love the exploration of that extrasensory descriptions that you can put into it. The combination of artistry and then trying to communicate how this man without fear uh, hears, feels, knows the wonderful. It's basically translating sensation to another, which is, what art primarily does, because visual experience translating in embodied experience. Daredevil's a great opportunity for that. But Craven's Last Hunt. It's not so much a Spider-Man story as a Craven story. Got vermin in it. I'm used to a couple different places. But we're talking about brave endings. Craven's Last Hunt back in the day for what these books were put out for. Oof. If you're not aware of the ending, but this book was way well received for the subject matter that it ended up tackling. And I really wish it included an issue or two after this arc, just so I know what the fallout of the thing was, because it ends pretty abruptly on big it kind of, and or sense of identity, or the competition between uh, what it means to loyalty, what it means to Spider-Man. There's the relationship between Parker and Jane. It's I'm glad it's Spider-Man's stick with me that I haven't read a whole bunch of Spider-Man specifically. I've definitely check it out, folks. It's been reprinted plenty, which is great. It's not hard to get a hold of. Oh, okay, fine. I got one more. I got to talk about, because it is a read I read a long time ago digitally, long time ago, back when I was first making Jack, and talked about transhuman a couple places in this stream. E3. So Grant Morrison, very hit or miss. He likes to dive into very sick things. Not in terms of like I think that he's all to it or whatever, but that he wants these ideas to be not gonna hit well with everybody. This one this one breaks my heart every fucking time. Completely destroys it. Was kind enough to allow it a happy end. Entirety of it is suffering of these things. Again, being part of this machine that fucking oil, and they're animals with this pure expression of themselves and the honesty being taken advantage of, and actually their bond. It's Homeward Bound, Alita Battle Angel. Like you don't get to hear that very often, but it's Homeward Bound meets Alita Battle Angel, and it's so heavy. Artistry is wonderful. The phrasing, the communication of the oh, it breaks my heart. What it says here: a sophisticated tale of morality and innocence. Surely will no question. Check that out in terms of Grant Morrison stuff. It's the main I'd ever recommend. A lot of people really like his Cape stuff. I haven't read much of it, so I can't comment on. I've read his Hellblazer stuff, and not quite to my style. Read Madhouse on Earth, or his Arkham Asylum thing. Bunch of Batman being pulled into insanity of that. That was really good. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite. I read it when I had to pick up a copy of it for cheap just so I could read it again as a creator. My focus on what I want to communicate a lot, and it got to have some heart. If you're the kind of reader who wants a fun escape, uh-uh. Closest, go to Alita. Fun escape. There's no brevity. It's just darkness, 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 darkness. Very end, there's a breath. Very sad, solemn, way joyous breath. Why he's so affected. This for me, I'd hold up. Eat my veggies. I do need to eat my veggies, dollar coin. I really, really need to. That's my biggest problem, honestly. That is my biggest problem. I'm a meat guy. I'm a carnivore guy. Chicken's good in terms of meat. It's better than most. In fact, I think that's I'm gonna do some breaded chicken. Yeah, look, I like my red meat. Oh, too bad the stream dropped there for. Oh, is it still dropped? Well, it says it's green. Apologies, folks. I don't know what you missed. I was in my stream of consciousness and expressions. That's gonna happen. It really bothers me, but there's not much I can do. I can make earlier streams, which that tends to work. Can do. I can check the chat more often. that's about all I could do. Dogcoin says it sounds like a sad comment. It's very sad. Worse, it's what we can become. It's that bit of the Borg. I mean, it's just one step to that. Basically, what it is. Pure creatures. Fucking use fucking burger. Yeah, it's tough. It's a good read. One that'll stick with you, but it's not a happy fun one that'll reflect on perspective on. Like a lot of good. Trying to do a little Jack. I'm gonna have some joy in Jack. Oh god damn. E3, man, again, at the very end, you get a breath and you get a little bit of an upper. That's it. The whole entire rest of the thing is just struggle and pain, standing, darkness, but not to the point of purpose. And there's some really cool paneling. The artist does a really cool panel. The horror is horrific. Sure that you're grounded. East to west again. It's joyless. It's got a little bit of love again. Mostly joyless. A beautiful design. Writing it's free. You could tell the artist had a lot of what they both know exactly what they want,
and they knew what to omit, that the communication doesn't get muddled. Whereas East of West tries to deal with so much that any single point is a little hard to latch onto. And some people love that. I think that's why a lot of dramatic shows really. But I think in fact, I haven't read Invincible. Watching it, Kirkman does very similar. Did the same thing with The Walking Dead, where there's a bunch of these plot threads that are weaving. That's the expression. None of them are exactly again joyous. There's very little joy. The teen love where he expresses at their back and forth, but the rest of it is very heavy stuff. But we three is focused, like focus. I'm gonna do something very heavy. Make sure I understand what you're doing. Clear. Don't muddy it. Express this thing. Show me your purpose. Don't do 20 things at once. I'm supposed to all of it. That's one of my problems. But that's some people really like that. Right way to right way is what allows you to keep doing it, right? But yeah, I think that's it on this part, folks. Keep Cody. That's gonna be hard to take out of me. Since I was younger, it gave me footing, it gave me strength. Not so much purpose, but it gave me joy in life. All of this have to keep just like punk rock back in the day. Fucking middle. And just keep rolling. That's uh that's been a good. Don't make him Bond. Cody Bond. What I watched Doctor No for the first time in 20 years. I was a kid, right? And I was watching with my watched it recently, and it is not a good movie. There are parts of it that are like really cool, really enjoyable, but man, overall, it is just. I can see why men in the 60s latched onto strength and footing. Cold War, just pure machismo with no regard for anything else. That's tough for me, because I could see where it's like, oh, that isn't that great of an expression, but it was an important one. I think, good one for people to find footing back then, particularly men to find footing back. That wasn't. But yeah, I wouldn't say I love the movie. But I'm gonna go through on how it evolved and just try and take that perception. You guys keep reminding me of things I've read recently. So let me show you my spy thriller. Show you that. Boom, boom. Not that one. That theory. Now this is really hard to get a hold of these days. Another one that's out of print and that Marvel's probably trying to disavow. Really bothers me. But I was lucky enough. So the hardcovers are almost impossible to find. That was the last printing and the largest print, the hardcover collections of it. But I was able to find the 2 volumes. I was really happy to be. Fury, My War Gone By. So Punisher Max is what got me into comics. Expressions of Darkness and Frank's. You have to read them. You have to read them because it's really hard to communicate what they're communicating in there without experiencing it. Of course, Frank's a cynic, murderer. He's a fucking serial killer, no purpose but to kill. How Garth Ennis was. I want to use the word justify. He never tries to justify. How he was able to make it palatable, understandable. So important. really important because again, these darknesses, when you're just expressing them, lose something. But if you're expressing them and trying to communicate um, something else, again, in Punisher Max, there's fatherhood, there's this sense of camaraderie, sense lost purpose and a purpose, all in this yeah, immense darkness. A lot of it we live with every day, and we kind of look that way while it's over. That wonderful expression, Max. Even Jason Aaron's finish to it, I back and forth whether or not he. But to take off and finish what Ennis started, done it so many. Actually, how he finished it is how Frank should. This, and of course the situation. Um, it's the Fury. It's supposed to be the White Fury, spy, original Bond, and in the Max universe, sticking ties it to the core. It, Garth Ennis, there's no one writes military um like Garth Ennis. Tom Clancy wrote, but he didn't write it as how war changed after war, how how by game be how politics changed, and from this man who was a warrior, he was there to take ground and how that changed, heard and tried to keep on all however he could. Having read Punisher Max first, where you could see that already communicated that we're in that. Um, how Nick was the only man at his get buried with honor. Um, and Fury's End, how he finishes it, just communicates an old soul warrior archetype, that masculine archetype that is vilified for, but has value and will always have value. Again, that light in the darkness. Talking a lot. If you can get a hold of these issues, like military fiction, if you like Bond, check this out. Now, I'd recommend reading almost if you like more James Bondy kind of spy stuff, but this is spy tale, covers the entirety of what the CIA, the OSS became, the filth politics that we prepare and our lives to them. Just wonderful. Just check it out. Anything really. I love Ennis on almost everything he's read. Preacher, again, it wallows in darkness a little bit more than I like, and even Ennis's Hellblazer stuff. I've been having a hard time getting through because of that mentality. But there's certain flavors of Garth Ennis that are just so they resonate with. It's beautiful. Cody Lobo. Kobo. I'll take Wolf. I work with enough dogs. I haven't read much Lobo. Apparently, it can be all over the place. I really like. I like crazy stuff, and I see a lot of Lobo is that space crazy that a few comics can pull off really well. I think I need to dive into it. He was supposed to be. I like Wolverine. There's Wolverine and Nick Fury tie in that tie together. A lot of people really like Robert Howard Chaykin. Got a lot of work, and he's art style kind of one of those guys. Steve did a lot of Punisher. see that with a lot of artists. They find a fake, have a fat version. It if the writing can carry it, just small. With Dylan, now Chaikin has got the sketchy style. Definitely, he has a wide spectrum of. I'm just gonna say that some stuff is just wonderful. Uh, Scorpio, some uh, so yeah, uh, check it out. Yeah, if somebody would, that'd be great. I really recommend it. Again, it's another one that's out of print, back to print. In fact, I've noticed that with the next volumes. Oh, thought they'd get fucking skyrocketed. Talking about Punisher Soviet, which was brand new, and I'm reading it was probably going to be the last title. In fact, they brought the ending out of fucking hibernation for Garth because he had ill. Here, I want to read it too. $70. I found this fucking thin ass story for. Very disappointed about that. That's one thing about printed. My hope is, and I didn't fucking consider it till I can probably get a hold. I can get a hold of it digitally. So maybe I'll check that out. That's infinite. It's really hard out. Like can't burn copies. Oh, but yeah. Anything. I don't think you can see it that well, but anything that's sticking out on myself back there, um, is stuff I need to. Where I'm in the by Jack Kirby. That and kind of art is wonderful. Jack Kirby writing's fun. I have problems with older comics. Bang for your buck in terms. Now it's different. Modern uh, strength on between artist and writer. That trust. Whereas stuff, there was certainly that. I had to cram similar results with pacing, very different intentions, very different communication. But yeah, so that's one that's hard to read for that. I haven't gone through that. I have the Carl Potts Jim Lee Award out. It's just action movie after action movie. I read entirety of kind of had my honestly. But this sticks out, and this is another one that took me ever to get really hard to find. Another one that's out of print really pisses me off. But definitive tale for both these. The fact that it's Mike Mignola, a big book. Doctor Strange. I'll read this. And don't get more gray. Doctor Doom, Fucker, Strange. Holy man, I mean, top guardian, fucking how this weaves towards a common good. I'm a big fan of a cult. I'll read it digitally, copy, and it, again, not the mine has cover scuffing and stuff, but definitely recommend getting a hold of that too. Definitely recommend getting. I have read a lot. I could keep diving into things. Yes, I couldn't get through it. We'll talk about it. It's gonna be obvious why I couldn't get. It's gonna anybody who knows. There's a picked it up a long time ago. Cheap, important run. That's this. Roll for a run right after Superman. Ooh, it's a hard read. Just kept going. I I admire it. I've read the Funeral of Captain America as well, quite a lot, and it, particularly because of my life, my loss is not ghost. The lives that have moved, celebration, have people gathering. The lives, though they touch very many. And so I've gone through these things. I really wanted to try this again, just to see, because I remember expecting it. Where it ends up going, Santa Fe Hastings was closing. I basically the whole run afterwards, where they're like, let's try 10 different super. I wanted to read that as well, but I think I got 4 issues, but 8-part series. Friend, timing was apt. Impression was, but wonderful that comic celebrate flipping a switch. This was meant for passing it. Pair of you watched over the world you know. Oh, you need inspiration, strength, shared journey. Have that. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I tried reading through it again, like I said, much. I still have it there. Maybe I'll find the strength here soon to get through it again. Pretty important process thing. Yeah, that's it. That's what that's out. Of course, here are my floppies. I'm always reading something in the background. I'm not always getting through something. Yeah, that was what you read. Basically, I have too much audio going in and out a lot. That nimble cap jump behind. Max your production. Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah. No, you want to read Pushman. In fact, that's I think that's even Jason. Punisher. I'm sorry about the audio. That while I'm check chat more often. I get lost in stream can very well be. Uh, Sometimes I wonder if I'm not streaming platforms that would help, but it used to be bad. Right. Somewhat worth you, but just like all these reads talked about, a lot to me, ways to express things, very complicated. Dry, smile at the same, batshit crazy, running a franchise a little bit longer. That might not be best all the time. Art or exploring difficult topics. It's a bit of magic. Proud to take part in. Um, so open up to questions one last time. Good hour. I don't know. Why not? I'm curious. Hour and a half. I just wanted to hit a while I have the time. Going to be working a lot more. But I, I already couldn't because for a while there I wasn't getting throttled in the that's when I have time to do stream I've that time and even buddy. It's just barely realities. But while I have the time, I'm happy to share. I wanted to get the camera up because it's past time. Step forward needs a small one. Sharing the expression. Pride. I I I have a problem. Another big expression of the fact that anybody wants to check it out, anybody wants to share time with that is valuable. Not enough of it. Again, magic. Hardware upgrades. I don't think it's hardware. Doctor Coin, Dollar Coin. Um, it's my ISP. My hardware is pretty up to snuff. Bandwidth. That's it. ISP that does NAT as well. What's happening is all the users on the network it basically routed to one point at one routes everybody, right? Kind of like a little bit like a VP. Just I have a hard time connecting. eventually it'll basically that's what's happening. That's just something I could change ISP about 3 in this town, fiber optic, about $1,200 to get dropped here. And they did it for anybody else. I try to get out here. I dealt with DSL for about 4 years. Mountain, shooting it to another mountain, and shooting it to get a little bit of clouds. And it's my internet per se. Funneling system. I know sometimes you can get a hold of an IS. Actually, it's that instead of through that routing system world. That can fix. I haven't looked. As far as I can tell, looking, but it's worth checking into if I want stuff to be one step at a time. I'm dealing time with you. Could be my video too that we're outputting more. That but work with the tools you got. Cannot, then you get job done with job. That's kind of getting it. That's what I tried today. I hope I got some decent. I folks for none of that was like I have time. Not doing it available. Part of this available. In fact, I started the YouTube channel. Down mods. I good amount, but so you'll see the two biggest on our channel. Comic book mod. Levered in. Um, yeah, since the beginning. That's why I was doing live streams available. Rust. Magic. Honored. Respected. Are available. Press. Some see it as other. Absolutely. Have fun. Certainly. I usually. But at the end, that bridge connect solidly. Whether respect, gratitude factors keep. That's what today's Q&A part was about. We didn't get questions. Got one. I'm watching. Okay, so there. Now I think about it, there are a couple things. Watching publisher. more than individual titles. Watching AWA and heavy metal. AWA, FT right away, artists making off of and IP. Metal, the same statement, except they FT lazy, but I can tell they probably need them. Um, um, so I'm watching those two. Heavy metal wanted to start this year with stronger footing. Tarna was a big one that hasn't hit as hard as I can why here and what I've like review, but I don't know any short coming out. Although very proud to be able to say that. I'm so glad they're getting AWA title that hit me. I've read a lot of their free stuff on Global Comic. That was another platform title I that's kind of it that I want to get a hold of is Chariot by Hill, but I haven't checked it out. I've read a couple of their titles that were auto art, especially because the art is what do I want to I don't want to be rude because Diodato can do art. It cuts a lot of corners. Basically cuts all the corners that could be cut. And it's only a couple of their titles that he does that. I think Redemption, which is their sci-fi post-apocalyptic western, which of course I'm very well. Um, uh, it looks really. But then you have titles like that, all the corners. And what I mean is, so entire book stiff and matter the one. It's just I or something. How else you coloring, writing, trying. So yeah, that one's been tough. But AWA, I'm really excited because kicked in the door. Got a one, and that resistance is key. I love Straczynski. Find Thor for me. That's a hell of a thing. uh, uh, but yeah, it's a rough one. But they keep leaning hard and working respectfully. Excited to see them. All I want to see better. In fact, I did again the live stream on publishers talking more WA. It metal. It an Arctic Press. They are been around, staying alive, and are the first primary publisher of America. In fact, I didn't even know that term. Uh, Scout, which is pushing hard. Ad Cave, hard. Folks are surviving in comic read. I Marvel, like Archie. I knew of I knew of heavy metal. Dark Horse. like the big guys. All I really search more, and folks are putting out numbers that even our work that shows me that the industry is fucking time. There was a greater unity picking each other. There's a hell of a strength. Excited to see what that's confident. But you never know. Not always beneficial. Recently, I've competitive. That's heartbreaking. This is have no very similar to Jack setting. 100% threatened by work. Nothing similar. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and check this out real quick. Chat again. Or why you here. Let me look up, amigo. Howdy, Bruce. Much for stopping in. We got another member of Team stepping in. Been catching more of your art lately, brother, and I'm glad to see it. It's always really cool. In fact, I think you posted a recent colored piece, a sexy kind of sci-fi punk lady. Um, Neo Star, thank you so much. He's been a constant supporter of myself and stopping by and saying hello. Always a joy to see you. The brilliant star that shines through the night. Doing pretty well. I tried to hit a lot of things. Brian's taken a social media. Like, I do not. Uh, I thought of burning every fucking ground last week. So I really don't blame you for taking a breather at the very. I'm either on or off. That's my problem. Slowing down, not doing enough. Right? That's how I feel. Um, that's the spirit. Exactly. Relax for a change. Enjoy yourself. Appreciate what you're putting out. Right? I can't take a victory. Not strong enough. Best that I giving my best somewhere else. Tossing it. I've been lucky that I sort of found a balance between work, hobby work. I've been able to, I think I'm not giving, but that's also the outside perspective. Right, a fact. So you try. Again, upgrade. Asian format was a step forward. Allows me to do things with physical books, which I'm much more likely to read beyond the quickies format, which I really enjoy the quickies. Write thoughts on some tool repertoire, fine, effective. works. Sure, even again, the number one thing if I am stopping or finishing a chapter of your work, something's wrong. That's my first clue. I did not chapter. I like right here. It's talking about his childhood. Childhood. Oh, go backwards. There you go. Oh man, my brain. But it just does not. It's very dry. It's homework. Fucking homework. One I think is worthy. Let me. Oh, it gets so tiny. You guys can't read that. Yeah, no. Better if it overlaps my. Then of course I have this correct. Yeah, I hope the quality wasn't shit because I hit on some. But yeah, always up for recommending that I may us one of the do the basically I'll do this kind of every time I've read. Times that'll be on things like show up a few more times. God will show up a few back again. There are some. There was a specific again a this issue that was wonderful panel. It's just too many. Oh no no no! There it is. There it is. You can't fucking read this panel. I lucked out. You can't read this double red for shit. Spherical, right? You can't read a circle without clear direction, and I think that was part of the point. I think it was supposed to give you a sense of, but oof, it was maybe a little too much happening. Didn't do clear it up. There's little bits like that, and that's what the quickies are for. But they don't focus on the mainstream stuff. Mainstream. I found one other entirety of my fucking loved it because but that was it, you know. Um, Colorist. Oh, it's gorgeous. Mine's proper. But yeah, there's little things. People won't know about these, for instance, too, because Disney now owns property. Not gonna get fucking 40K content. It's just not gonna happen. Don't have Marvel does not have Max. Without Max, you're gonna get fucking G-rated Warhammer 40K, which that was 40K's secret. That was its little secret. It was sold as G level modeling, rated G modeling, but honestly, it is the most horrific fucking depiction of transhumanism, of humanity, that religion and all these heavy fucking topics that you could do. Honestly, I did. Yeah, I'm not going to do a quickie on this individual, just too big. I might do quickies on the first three volumes. Here is the crowdfunded work I've read. I waited to read it from the digital. Inspired me to. Come America 3's fucking gorgeous. Ending. Uh, I wish they would have taken maybe 5 more pages to press that reveal instead of it just being turning on a switch. That was my problem with it. But as always, it's an expression of hope and finding. Check those. Uh, I'm always reading like 20 things. I can also point to another uh, that I kind of stopped reading. One of those things Uh, Dark Tower, Dark Tower adaptation. It's really heavy. Again, it's joyless, and I have problems with. I can't shit. Like I can read a bad comic, but if it had joy, I'm gonna read comic. I can read a good comic, but doesn't have joy. I have a hard time. It's just me personally. There's a lot of works here I could comment. Say that. Maybe I'll save that for another time, especially since a lot of them I'm gonna read again. Process of Jack Kirby. But yeah, pretty up and just talking comics. Again, it's important for me to another level, force myself out of my comfort, find that long past. A lot of sorrow. I want to go to personal. That. Just pushing forward, right? That's in front. That's life. It'll let you have the illusion. So trying something new, tough. I appreciate. Don't really want no star left, but I don't. I can talk about more comics. I'm happy to. Have any questions? That was the happy to answer questions on anything we talked about any other, about the work of production, writing, anything on anything. Ask me anything, honestly. Ever, I'm here. Coffee, the endless pet hair up. Just delicious, huh, kitty cat? Folks probably would have gotten a visit up to outside. Take care of that outside. Outside, you know. She's taking shit out. Oh, I've been running a house by my better than I thought I would. Pushing forward. Kitty cat here, who about 6. Her and the dog don't get along. About a year and a half with the doggy. Yeah, he's been about a year and a half. She gets less access to happy. Tell me about pissing on the oven clean. And the dog too, so keep her in. Oh man. Uh-oh. Well, I just got the warning bell from my headphones that they are dying. Charger is out in the room. Second, my guy. I know. There we go. All right. So I kind of got to lean like this. I don't have a long charge this. So I don't think I'm gonna go on much longer. I have a very weird. I'm gonna start something. Well, fresh. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I can't trust the. It won't even stay in either. I think I gotta call it with this dying. All right. I was back in there. Wraps around. Not ideal. Um, but how does he? Uh, yeah. Well, anyway, I think I'm gonna call it, folks. I'm talking about some books, talking about trying to be. Um, oh, yeah. I mean, Cody, I have a Wicked Publishing celebrating their 5 year end last night, Saturday. Saturday, 4:30. Chatting the work, chatting their work, as I showed earlier. Stream, talking my stream real. I close. I closed. Ah, yeah, it sounds like. But Jack Irons issues. Very happy about that. Babies have been sent back to the tracking number. I should actually have them by Friday. Assign them, and allegedly their option backside is big old. One or the other. Both. Try it out. One of the cards out. Probably to Wicked Publishing. How I'm mailing live. And then after that, I'll be telling back, sending them out one by one. We're getting the packages. I also had an international backer contact me last night regarding an brand bulk. Sure. Should done. I have no idea how many packages I've gotten tomorrow. Happen. So we're pushing forward with the comics. We're last week's final straw, man. There was a stumble before that I thought was that I'm still not aware is solved. I thought, oh, well, that's the last one. Kicking me in the balls till the end, not removing it. Fine, fine. Getting him out the door. So hard to get that one outside perspective. Interact with word two. A lot of bells and whistles possible. See what we can do. Out of the water with possibility. Possibility of being. We'll see. Act all. Allow us. Importantly, the we'll see. Oh, thank you so much. I think those cards look dope too. I'm show off here, especially when I do this. I think I have to sign it pretty fucking time. I have terrible handwriting. Scribble, scribble, scribble. So um, we'll see. I got to do about 400 of them. It's gonna be a trip, but it's the least I can do. Disappoint up in the. To be frank, to me, disgusting. Backers and asked by a few backers when is the gross? I was like, oh no. Monk has. Oh, he's a, so. We, I was speaking about Steve Dillon and Howard Chaykin. A lot of their Monk does. But his J. Scott Campbell, another one that allegedly for Scott. Um, but but here anyway. There was no question factors that would make very much fully developed. But nonetheless, the intent is what I would have aiming those had I had the finances. Well, finances and desire process that to be put. I'm not too worried. Comics and all the comics. That was the only comment I had was well, oh no. But the other bits were like, no man, we support you. Just get us our issue. That was a big problem. Both artists reached out. Terrible situation. Holy shit, do that I can be at one trying to gain. But I am excited. I'm excited. Happy, happy that we asked fucking nothing. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't. Cool. I can't show them that one more time because I'm one of the few times I take pride in my life. Oop, have the issue column. That's funny. I everybody's stacking them verse, but getting that's fun. Uh, little synchron. Happy with the fighting. Get them in. So if you have backed us watching this, national about 6 up me in, but I have enough anyway. I can't. I don't want to make any more waters. I have no control over. That's one properly. Accurate content. We've got some of the best. There's time. Just got to move forward. Got to push. I'd get these signed. It's less likely I won't have the contact. Fella who did the cards would be. Oh, we'll see. I appreciate. Look through. Want one? You're getting one, Ryan. Act on. I'm gonna beat myself up for. I don't take that. I best way to have math and yes, beating possibility. flagellated. It's not gonna fucking. All you can do is, yep, fuck it. There were a lot of people. Which I was already doing. Also, because that would have added another wet bed. No, and I'm already doing this. Right. This is the reprint. Folks want floppies, they will be covers. Covers will be placed. Public reprint of them, but that one really. Actually, with the art. I don't know if I want to knowledge that I gain, perception that I want to get out of it, allow the on transfer traded into doesn't need. I don't think I'm crossover. I'm a fan. Depth with outside make me. Uh, so it's just I was already moving. What are we gonna do? Right? Start a bonfire. You know, it solve anything, especially since the scheme of cameo. That one cameos. Well, I have a very personal relation. Gun comics. Good. That one I'm very. It's just too much. Oh, did it fall out? No worries. It's fine. Hey, looks like it only takes a or so to charge it. Oh, come on. I gotta take. Yeah, this mic is it's plugged into it. Need a longer USB. That's not a. You're up Wednesday. Week is almost done, and people. For me, my weekend just finished on. My weekend finished Monday. 4 day work. Direct work week. Had a lot of odd jobs. The old man. But um but anyway, that's of course changed, and week starts Friday. So yeah, I'm in glad to be, but yeah, it's comic book day. I hope. But yeah, just yeah, the battery charging. I'm sure you can get much better. Like if I had this plugged in for bothersome one, where I was testing this, and well, actually no, that was Monday. Yeah, I wanted to get the have a better large part of it house. That little on it calendar. I last night calls and watch wasn't something I could probably watch without a couple hundred calls in me. It's way heavy. Ideas. I listen to stuff and spring's coming and I see grass and trees forward. A lot of that this year. I mean, our work is seen in it. Uh, with issue 4 and on, it's not gonna get some of it. If not, have a fun time. Have a good read. Read a good fucking cowboy comic. Not enough of it. Anyway, um, I'm Cody. IronVerse. I thank you folks for active chat than you effect on a win. Problem with how my energy off work. Usually would watch as well. So it is what it is. Up so people streams. I'll have another one guys today. In fact, if I have the ability to take this how much okay. Got a little more charge on my mic. Pop out while I'm walking. Stand by. One last thing on the iron. Right back. Right back, folks. Boom. Back a comp. Alright, there we are. Here we go. I'm breaking down the quickies into categories. They are more integrated. Start one, have more reasons, right? We have our creator owned category. What I'm going to do is pick a category and then while I'm out of subject matter, I might revisit it more category, right? It's creator owned. I've got a lot of cool stuff to look at. Stuff I'm excited to. In fact, one is not going to be able to show much. So we have creator owned. This one's important to me. Not really shown to mythology. Basically, overarching category. Have multiple tales in them. There was one right here. I'm talking about this. When I kind of just don't, got that edge, like good, very. There was one hit me at the right. That also a local. I did two mythologies basically. That goes. A lot of the ground level fucking might as well be street art comics are anthology. Practical. Talk about that. And this is a big fucking cat. It's actually gonna be broken down. But company interaction. Starting off with image. Company interaction to talk about. But different companies and how they work to produce. Have Ada here, publisher, for shit. So I'm gonna look forward to that. I guess um, that's interacting with Magic the Gathering. We have CrossGen, Rivera out of Malibu with Darling, angry stuff. A lot of these are me looking into what the companies are talking about the issue. Rocket Comics, uh, Dark Horse, which seem to be um, I don't like that fucking. Oh, it's Bob. They were doing ethnic YA. Best way I can put it. Because a lot of those effort, Marvel does like a single issue of them, markets it as production's going on, and then drops it like it's hot and starts on the next. Right? That's terrible. Milestone Comics was a big one. Fought really hard for that fucking time. Looking into, they got dropped like it was, dropped like crazy. Coming back. success. This one interests me very, very hardcore. Exiles, Malibu, right? It's got Juggernaut in it. So I'm looking forward to seeing Marvel and Malibu integrate, talking about. Yeah, see, rockets. And then we have two variant covers. Again, Black Tide, which was by a company beforehand. We have different type of Wildstorm, which I'm interested to see how that worked for their titles. And then we're gonna finish with Come Out of the Night from one of my favorite and rated publishers that I really wish were still kind of the publisher I knew them of with them. Back issue, Valiant. Take a look at fucking. I'm excited for that one. I haven't really read Deathmate a lot of shooter comics. There's a certain magic how they present that just shit. Image was so focused. Look that style. Valiant focused on particular expression that for X shackled, right? Valiant, very purposeful. Kind of look up how Death made occur, what it did, sales, and I have both yellow and black, I think. So I'm excited to look through those. Right now, those are the three categories I have. So, that'll be IronVerse Quickies for a while. Anyway, you take care, Brian. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Sculler. Donnie. I, yeah, I couldn't tell you who. I appreciate you stopping by, Johnny. I was just about closing out talking about that was the last topic I want. Check it out. Long stream for ours. See how that goes. But bye, buddy who platform of choice. Love and my love of the work. Period. Um, not allowed me to cost. My bad. So figuring that out, got it figured out. Trying again, solid foot. Sign up for this trade paperback containing paperback hardcover. Trying to figure out hardcover. But first three bonus content, 150 followers notified when this goes live. So I'm excited. Hit goal. I mean, goal. Cash in my pocket. but also sign up for that. Go ahead and chat. Appreciate you folks stopping is chat if you're not signed up. I really first done with issue and yeah, I will catch you folks later. Again, I have a stream Saturday with publishing. I've been there. Been a lot of learning. Besides, vice versa. Definitely worth celebrating. Fight. So good. Out to folks. Yeah. Before my mic dies, last time. You